but you do make this decision to make that person feel loved. Like, that's a decision you get to make every single day. And I think that's where the consistency comes in. For me, I don't look at love as an emotion. I think it's more of a state of being. I could feel like that presence of love and everything around, but I could still be sad. I could still be mad. I could be happy as shit. At the end of the day, it's like, if love is a feeling, then that means it fades away. Hello, my name is Chance, and you are listening to A Chance to Strive. I just want to thank you guys for listening, and anybody who's constantly coming here. I really do appreciate you. And anybody, if this is like your first episode that you're watching, I just want to say it's going to be a good one, because the person that I'm with today is someone I've known for about 2 years, year and a half, in between. So Korry, would you like to introduce yourself? I wasn't going to say your name, but I messed up on that part. It's all right though. It's all right.
That's okay. I'm Koryona. What's good? What's up?
Okay, since I'm gonna have to make our introduction, what is it that you do, Korry?
What'd you say?
What is it that you currently do?
I am currently an artist, I guess an influencer too. I hate that word, but I'm currently an artist, influencer, and actress too. So
what type of music do you do?
I do R&B, pop. Those are my thing.
All right, now this is the time where you plug in a song real quick. You know the song that I really like, right? Dove, go ahead. Plug that in real quick. Plug that in.
Plug in us. I don't have.
I just told you the song I liked.
I'm sorry.
Your song Dove. When you said that to me, I told you I kept on playing that over and over and over again. Like, this is one thing I'll say, right? My friends, like, I have a good amount of friends that do music, and I'm not gonna hold you. There are times where I hype up some of their songs. Only because I know they're not gonna put it out, so there's no risk in me lying to them. You feel me? Like,
so you be lying?
No. Okay. Your song was already out. Your song was already out. That's why I said it was a little different. But no. I promise, not at all. But literally, when I heard that song, you don't understand like how proud I was. Like, I was just like, this is some next level shit. Like, this is like, I don't know. It just felt like you were actually like, I don't know. It didn't feel like you were somebody else starting out, an amateur or anything like that. It just felt like everything was just. You were just nice at it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. That I wrote from the heart. So, that was based off a true story.
Really?
Yeah, it was based. You already know that story.
Yeah.
I told you that story.
We've told each other a lot of shit. I love it. I love our friendship. Okay, so if you had to summarize your content, like, we're gonna do like the basic question before we're like actually going to the real things. This is for the listeners to actually know who you are. But then again, a lot of my following, we share very similar following. And especially at one point we had content out 24/7 with each other and shit. Okay, so if you had to like categorize or summarize your content in a few words, what is it that you would say? Or describe it, whichever one you want to take.
I would describe my content as just being relatable content. A lot of people will tell me, oh, you do relationship advice. I'm not giving advice. I'm not giving advice. I just talk about like my situations and how I be feeling. Like, and I generalize it. I feel like everything I say is subjective. Nothing I say is set in stone, but it's just always situational based. Like, I just post a lot of content that particularly girls can relate to. And I just like being that person that people do feel like, oh, somebody else is going through this too. It's not just me. Like, so that's how I would sum up my content, just mostly like relationship type stuff. I do post singing videos here and there. I post like little jingles that I come up with every now and then. But for the most part, like, I just be being myself.
Because I realized we skipped this part, we might as well get it out the way now. What is your socials, in case anybody that's listening that doesn't actually know is aware of your platform, they would know where to find you.
Okay. So my TikTok is my name, so it's Koryona. Nothing special to it. Literally Koryona. And my Instagram got a little underscore in it, so it's at underscore Koryona. Koryona.
I love it. All right. Actually, this is an interesting question. If you had to describe my content, what would you say? What would you say it is?
Let's describe Chance's content. Chance is talking about the same stuff that I talk about. What else do you talk about? And he be trying to give. He gives advice. He be giving advice. He'd be like, "Oh well, if y'all want to know how to do," Just for yeah, you just post a lot of stuff in regards to info on girls, the 411. You be having all the tea and stuff because I be giving you the tea sometimes, but
A little
you
bit.
know,
But no, I feel like I guess for us to speak on like when we actually like how we met and like started becoming friends and stuff like that. Me and Korry became friends like the very first time like I even became aware of who she was and like she became aware of who I was and stuff like that. Like on like a personal level. What was it? I made a video. All right. No. At first, I didn't like her. At first, I was not Korry's biggest fan. I made a video. She replied to it. But the issue was you didn't like, you took it for something that it wasn't. And I was like, that's not what the fuck I was even trying to say. And then one of my friends that used to watch my content, she sent it to me. She's like, uh-oh. And I was like, the video was something about like, if we're, if we're talking, like like we're loyal or something like that. The talking stage means you're loyal, you're not talking to a lot of people. Or something around that manner.
Something like that. But I don't think, no, I feel like it was something else though. I feel like it was something about, I'm trying to remember. It was just on the tip of my tongue and then I just forgot it that quick. I guess it was something around that lines, but it wasn't exactly that. It was like something about how like, oh, you have to ask. Like if I don't know, I'm your girlfriend or something like that. I feel like it was that. Like,
really? I have no idea.
I don't remember.
But
I don't remember.
What's the new title we put on our friendship now that you be calling it?
The new title of our friendship?
The fact that you forget.
Pen pals.
Okay, I was about to say. I was about to say she's gonna know what I'm referring to.
I just said this yesterday. No, we're pen pals because we've never met in person. However, we've had like a 2-year friendship, and it's like we've just been FaceTiming. We just FaceTime each other all the time.
It was like hours, and then this stuff like I know about you. It's like I feel like I know a lot about you, and you know a lot about me because like I don't know the amount of The thing is like our bond in terms of like our age. Okay, she's old. I just want to let the whole following.
I am not old.
She's old. She's old.
Don't even try to play me like that.
She's a lot older than me and stuff like that. You feel me? So it's kind of like
why are you screeching? Huh? He's 21. I'm 24.
I'm 21.
He's 22. I'm 24.
That's better. That's better.
You just turned 22. Calm down. You just turned 22.
It's been like 4 months.
That's just turning 22.
You know what? I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Fresh. You're 22 and fresh, honey.
All right, but okay. What was I gonna say? Okay, so the thing is, for a lot of our content, it is very similar, and I think one of the things that really does hit off for the both of us, and I think a lot of the times it's kind of like we do have a similar mindset on certain things. Even at times it'll be different. I feel like whenever we have conversations, we kind of like tend to get on the same page. It's like we always respect each other's mindsets, and it's easy for us to kind of like find a compromise in terms of like, oh, you actually might be right on this. I think I'm still gonna stick to this. Okay, since we do talk about relationships all the time, this is a question you actually were intrigued by. Why is it that you think certain women hold themselves to higher standards than men?
Why do I think women hold themselves at a higher standard than men?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard question for me because I don't feel like you should personally. I have a different view than I guess most women maybe would as far as like holding your significant other at a higher status than you. I mean, like, it's subjective still because I feel like me personally, I'm by myself because I'm not where I want to be yet in life. So it's like, I feel like I have to work on myself and I'm like, okay, I want to be to this level. And then, cause I don't feel like there's anything wrong with wanting somebody who's doing a little bit more, but I feel like I want someone that's going to match me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I personally want. I want us to be at the same level. Like, or, I mean, if he happened, I'm not like searching for someone who's more. If he happens to be, I'm not going to be intimidated by that, or like, it is what it is, but I'm not looking for that. But if it happens, it happens. But I feel like I want to level up because I want someone who's also leveled up. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, but that's my personal opinion. I can't really relate, I guess, to those who feel like they want somebody that is leveled up, but they don't want to level up themselves. Like, I can't really relate to that because that's not what I personally want. And I can't really speak on that topic because I don't really know the mindset behind it. But me personally, I know that I'm the type of person that's like, I do want more, but I know I have to work on myself more. And then it'll be like, okay, cool. Now I want to look for, or not look for, but I would rather attract that person that's there with me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna take this question from a different angle where you actually can give your personal perspective on it. What is it? How do I phrase this? How do I phrase this? Oh, okay. So let's just say you are currently working on yourself, right? You're working on yourself, and you get to a certain level where it's not that you're complacent, but you're a little more comfortable, whether that's financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, in whichever manner it is, right? Let's just say you get to that point, whatever that point is for you, get to it, and then you find a dude that's not necessarily there yet. Then, but the ambitions are there. But it's just the fact that even though you're already there, like you're already at that point, you're gonna have to wait for him to get there.
To get there.
Yeah. How do you look at that situation, and how do you look at that individual? And this is somebody who doesn't give bare minimum. He generally puts the effort in. So in other words, it's kind of like I wouldn't say like your dream guy, but he doesn't have red flags and stuff like that. Things you got to watch out for. It's more like he's just kind of like on the come up, and you don't know whether that come up is gonna take 2 years or whether that come up is going to take 5, 10, but you're already there, which is the part we want to focus on.
I think in that situation, personally, me, I'm the type to kind of just, because I've done this before, I've been with guys like that, but like,
oh
I have.
One of them is going to think about this.
I have, my stories. Like, I mean, I know, you know what I'm talking about. That's why you're laughing. Because I don't mind. I'm a type of person. If I like you, I like you. It don't matter. Like, if I like you, I like you. I'm gonna see past where you are. As long as your ambition is there and you want more for yourself and you have the drive and you're doing something, like, great. But like, if you aren't displaying those traits, no, like we can't do it. But as long as you are, cool. But yeah, I'm not really the type to be like, because I mean, a lot, it's vice versa. It goes either way. Like, I feel like there's guys that would, like if a girl is not exactly where she wants to be, he doesn't mind, sticking it out.
I think it's a little different though when it comes to like a man and like a man and woman. I think that part is a little different because one of them is the standard and the other is something a lot of people get excuses, like a lot of passes for. Like if a woman meets it, like the thing is like even if we focus on it and make it a conversation literally just about money, it is very like you don't understand like how many times I've seen like certain women be like, oh, this dude's broke, I'm not dating him type shit, and it's like okay, but if a guy were to be like, even if a guy would be like, she's not where I think she needs to be at, I don't want this. People look at that more wrong. It's kind of like, oh, why shouldn't you be patient with them? It's like it's this idea that for some reason, like it is a different. Like people hold women and men to different standards, and the part where it's like I'm not saying it's okay because I know you're not the person. I know you don't have that type of mindset, but I don't understand the reason why it's like a lot of expectations are like being like changing in terms of like from like back in the day and stuff like that. Like it's being modernized, but a lot of women still have the same mindset, or a lot of people still have the same take when it comes to like, oh, you're a man, you're doing very well. I mean, if you like her, just scoop her up, like just bring her there with you, like make her on the same level as you. For a woman, it's less about building that individual and more about finding it.
Yeah, I think it just depends. I think it really just depends on the person and their mindset internally. Because like I've been in situations where it's like because by no means I'm not rich. I don't have it all together at all. But I've been with a guy who didn't have it, like who really didn't have it together. Like he was at a low point. And I liked him a lot, but he had a lot of ambition and drive. But I feel like it's all circumstantial because he took advantage of me because of the fact that I was a little bit further along. Like, and it's just like, okay, sir, like you still have to contribute in other ways too. Like you can't just run over me. And I feel like it really just depends. Cause I think a lot of girls get tired of like the fact, or just, they don't want that to happen to them as far as like, okay, like, is this person going to take advantage of where I'm at? And then once he builds himself up, what is he going to do?
That is a very good point. But
yeah, like what is he gonna do when he builds himself up? Like, how are you gonna treat me? Like, where does that lead me? I don't know. It's subjective, but I've been in that situation before, and that's why we honestly stopped talking to each other, because I started to feel like, okay, you're taking advantage of me, and it's getting bad. Like,
I feel that.
Yeah.
And I know this whole entire story. I just want to say I respect the dude, but you ain't shit for how you treated her. But you deserved a lot more.
Yeah.
I've told you this like time and time and time and again, but it's like, and that's the thing.
So
it's like we can even make this a random topic and like make it a conversation, but you know what's like, so okay, right? Part of our bond that I didn't mention earlier is kind of like she is older than me, right? By 2 years and stuff. And it's like, so I'm younger. It's kind of like a sibling relationship where we even say this all the time to each other. I'm kind of like the older, younger brother. The younger, older brother. See, I'm going to put some respect in your name. I'm going to give you the older part first. I'm kind of like the younger, older brother. Because the thing is, it's kind of like, I want you to tell the people why it is that we have that type of bond.
You said what?
I want you to tell the people why it is that we have that bond. Why do we look at me like the younger, older brother?
Because sometimes he be making sense.
Like, wait, talk about sometimes?
Sometimes he be making sense.
I'm going to tell y'all the truth since she wants to cap. I tend to give very good advice, and me and her have gotten really close, so it's kind of like there's a level of maturity that she's seen in me where it's kind of like it was either on her level or there were certain things where she was still figuring out. And the fact that I knew, it's kind of like you knew certain things that I didn't know. And of course, like she knew things that I didn't know and stuff like that. But I think that's kind of like the basis of mainly like what gave us like that older younger brother, because it's like at times I would feel like the older one because I'm giving like I feel like I'm giving you advice out of this, out of that, and then at times it's just like you are like you live by yourself, like you're in a whole different country. That's one thing I've realized in terms of like responsibilities and everything like that. Yeah, that older part that you got it. How long have you been living by yourself for? Like it's been a minute.
Since I was like 18. Yeah, since I was 18.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I know. It's hard work out here.
Hey, hold on.
It really is. Yeah. But yeah, I give you the old. Sometimes we switch off. Like sometimes he's older and sometimes I'm older. But I feel honestly sad to say, but I feel like the majority of the time you're probably the older one.
Honestly, the fact that you admitted that, I just want to say, it makes my heart happy. It makes me really happy.
Whatever. That's because I'm more fun than you.
Wow, my fault. I'll try to be like the young kids. A little more. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, this is not okay. Now we're actually gonna get like very topic wise. Okay, we're gonna actually really focus on this. Yeah, it's a great point to start doing that. Okay, we'll start off with the question, and then I'll give my take after you give your take. Who pays first?
I knew you were going to ask me that. How did I know you were going to ask me that? I just felt it in my spirit. I'm like, he's going to ask me who pays first on the first date. To be completely honest. Okay. Who pays first? I feel like the person that asks the person out should be the person that pays.
I think that's a really good point. I think that's a really good point.
Like, I feel like the person that asks, well, I don't know. That's a hard one. Like, because I've been in a position where I've paid. My friend is in here.
You don't own her.
Oh, wow. She's like, as a we don't own her. I'm weak as hell. Honestly, I do miss. Oh my God, this is so hard. What do I think?
Okay, now this is the part. This is the part where I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on here. She knows exactly what the fuck she wants to say. She just doesn't want to say it. Now I want you to tell the people exactly what it is that you want to say. Just be completely blunt. You will have the time to do that. It's not even like you have a chance to do that. Yeah, go ahead.
I like to be fucking courted. Okay, yeah. I do. I like to be courted. I would like to be taken out. People don't do that no more. Like people don't do that anymore at all. It would be nice. Like it would be nice. I do believe guys should pay first. If I'm being completely honest. Okay. If I'm being completely.
We're on the same page.
I think there's.
Actually, say why. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that sometimes I'm not gonna say that if you're going out on a date with your man you should never pay for him because that's BS. Like that's no. You should definitely like cater to him, you know? Like that's your man's. Like do nice things for him and whatnot. But I think on the first date, like, yeah, like, you know, do some courting type things, you know? Like I want to feel like a princess. Like I want to feel special.
I said I can't even hate on that. And the thing is, we're on the same page when it comes to that, because I do believe in the whole, like, I do believe men should pay first in any single. I don't think there's been like a first date that I've been on. I also don't take. I'll be completely honest. I don't necessarily like take people on dates, and I'm not the guy she's referring to, the one that just don't take people out on dates in general. For me, it's just like, I'm one of those people where I'm not going to put out a certain energy or like put in it. How to say this? The thing is, I know certain shit that I do will like set certain expectations in women. Like for the thing is, it's like I've had so many instances where like I told a girl this is the timing that we on, but because I did certain things or like I started treating her a little too well, she started thinking that it could be more. So for me, it's like I don't want to take somebody out on a date if I'm not even intrigued to actually like talk to you. And for me to be like, I'm talking to you, not just, oh yeah, I used to text her, but like, nah, me and you used to talk on like a relationship level. I don't do that with a lot of people. Like I'll flirt, like flirting means absolutely nothing to me. But for me to actually like sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm talking to you, and it starts feeling like we're almost like dating type thing, then at that point, it's like, it's a little different. I will take somebody on a date and I'll always attempt to pay first, but you are not getting a second date out of me if I don't see you touching your wallet when the bill comes. I don't give a single fuck. To me, it's like, I don't feel like I get to be a gentleman anymore. I feel like at that point, when you start making it an expectation, like the moment I realize you don't pull out your card or we're done with our food and you know the wait is, what the wait is on. My card will be on the table right there. And if yours, like the thing is, I will do it in advance on purpose just because I'm like, I want to give you the opportunity to actually do this. And the moment you don't understand for me like how much of a turnoff it is. Because the thing is, one thing I really hate, and it's not, you can't even speak about this, and I'm pretty sure you probably don't necessarily like this in women as well, but I feel like there are a lot of women, and it's not like, I feel like in any movement, Black Lives Matter movement, feminist movement, there's always a group of people that take the movement the wrong way and they rock with it in a different manner. And for that, the reason why I'm referring to that is like, there are certain women where it's kind of like, they just want a guy to just do shit. Like, oh, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to take me out. You're supposed to spoil me. It's like, no, that shit is not an those aren't requirements for a relationship.
Yeah.
It goes into that dynamic that you guys have and you build, but the fact that you didn't even give him a choice is the part that I find fucked up. And the entitlement, I don't fuck with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just think it's a sense of entitlement that a lot of girls have. Like, I mean, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with like wanting those things, of course. Like, of course we all want to be spoiled, we want to be taken care of, but it's just the sense of entitlement, because they don't have to do those things, but it's gentleman-like if you do, you know? Yeah. Like, we all want gentlemen, like, but it's like, when you start acting kind of like, okay, like, you're supposed to do these things for me, it's kind of like, well, you're not doing anything to make me want to do those things for you.
Like at all, bro.
Yeah, bro. I get it. I do. And I think that's the thing. I think a lot of, like, I know not all women feel like this, but I think a lot of girls feel like, because, how do I put this in words? Like, a lot of guys will feel like every girl has that sense of entitlement just because they want them to do something. And it's like, it's not that. It's just like, how do I put this in words? Like, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. I lost my train of thought. Like, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this.
It's okay. The good thing is he actually takes note of every single time, like, one of our thoughts gets fucked up and stuff like that, so you can clip it.
Yeah, it just takes me a minute, like, to actually word it right.
No, we said a good amount on this.
It's like, how do I put this in words? Like, it's like, we'll just come back to it. I can't think.
We good. This is a good one, right? Okay. How do you look at having sex on not like the first date, but like, well, whether it's the first date or the first link? How do you look at that? Like sex on the first date, sex on the first link.
I feel like it's your choice, you know? Like, if it is what it is. If you want to do that, do it. If the mood is right, cool. Like, go for it. I think I'm not gonna sit and say I've never had sex on the first date before, because I have.
Yeah.
Like, it just, it happens. Like, if you're a fucking soup, can I say that?
It's 18 plus. You can actually cuss and say whatever.
Okay. So, like, if you're a grown ass person, who, like, what? Do your grown ass business. Like, that's how I feel. I mean, I know that there's a lot of different things about, like, okay, a lot of guys will be like, well, they might look at you different. Well, not every guy's the same. Not every guy's gonna look at you different. But I mean, at least that's my opinion. But I just feel like, do what you want to do. It's your life. You're grown as fuck. If the mood is right and if that's what you want to do, then go for it. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
I think with the exact same way, it's like, I don't think there should be a time limit or a time set. It's like, oh, we have a amount of links that you have to go through before you actually like indulge in like that part. Because for me, it's like, I don't necessarily ever have, like, somebody doesn't come over and have the expectation, oh, sex is on the table. But it's like, I'll fill out the vibe, and based off the vibes, I go by that. If I know like a girl's like, she's intrigued in me, like touching my leg type shit, it's like, where you doing those little things? Are you giving me those signs? I'm for it. I really don't give a fuck. And it's not even about and the thing for me is like, I don't look at I don't look at anyone differently just because we did something on the first night. Yeah, for me, it's like, I think a lot of men look at it as like, oh, any other dude probably could have done this. But I'm like, the thing you don't realize is, for a woman, that like, getting horny for a lot of women, it's not really just a physical thing. Like, a woman it's hard for certain women to even get to that point the moment they're in a space where they're not fully comfortable, or they don't fully feel comfortable and stuff like that. So for me, it's like, me having sex with you just means you enjoyed my vibe, or you thought that I was good at what it is that I did, or like, you thought I was going to be good at that part or something like that. Like, I don't think there's anything more to it. It's like, I'm pretty sure you're not out here just fucking everybody. And I think that's the mindset a lot of guys go with. Is like, oh, you slept with me on the first night? She's easy as shit. And then it's like, I realized it sucks for a lot of women, because it's like, you'll want to do it, but then you just can't, because, you know, the moment you allow yourself to indulge in that, you know the circumstances that follow it. She's probably going to start chatting, and if anybody finds out, and you just know, like, how they're going to categorize you, and I think it's just hella fucking childish. And I think you're right, it is some grown-ass shit. It's like, bro, we have sex on the first date. Okay, fuck it. Even if we didn't go on another date, as long as, like, we never lied to each other or anything like that, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with it, bro? Sex isn't bad. Like, what?
Well, I mean, it's your personal choice. Like, it is what it is. It's what you want to do. I just think people, they just feel like, oh, because she had sex on the first date, now I know the type of girl she is. No, that doesn't mean you know what type of girl she is just because she has sex with you on the first date. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just what I be thinking. It just depends. Everything is subjective.
Okay. Now this is something that's really common, right? Okay. So what we're gonna speak on is women who complain about guys not being shit, but constantly will pick the ones that ain't shit, even when they have a gentleman at their disposal.
Oh God, not this question.
Yeah, I mean, let's speak on that.
Oh my goodness, bro. Okay. My friend is in the background shaking her head. Okay. So this is annoying because a lot of guys want to play the nice guy card. I'm a nice guy. I hate that. Like, I hate that. If you're a nice guy, you don't have to announce that you're a nice guy.
They're the manipulator.
Yeah, the guys that do that usually are the manipulators. Like, a lot of guys are great at pretending to be nice at the beginning. And then after the beginning, like, who are you? Like, I don't know this person. Who is this new person? Because they get comfortable once they feel like they got you. So that's the thing. I just feel like those people that are in the shadows talking about I'm a nice guy, you're not a nice guy. Like, if you have to announce that to the world, take a seat. Take a seat. If you have to announce that, you're not a nice guy. Because, I mean, like, it's not hard to tell when a guy is a really good guy. It's obvious. It's obvious. But if you have to announce that you're a nice guy. And then I'm not going to say it's obvious because a lot of guys be putting on the front. So no, I can't even say that. But it's just like, you're really not a nice guy if you have to announce it. If you have to say that.
Yeah, because I feel like the moment you actually like start announcing it, it's more about like you're trying to convince people of something instead of just allowing them to see that for themselves. And even when that's not their attempt, it's just always gonna look that way because it's just what people normally expect out of it. And the need to feel like you have to announce it. At times, like, I understand announcing certain things because you feel like you're not getting enough credit and shit for it like that. But when it comes to just like blatantly, like somebody just, oh yeah, I just did this. Like I have this much. Like I feel like at that point, then that's when it becomes an issue. But the part where it's about like men like giving, I've made a few videos on this and I know this for a fact. But the one thing I've always said in terms when it comes to that, like the whole like putting up an act and then down the line is just like, what the fuck is this? Where did this shit go? It's like one thing I've always said is probably even heard me say this. It's like I hate like don't introduce somebody to a vibe that you can't maintain.
Exactly.
And for me, it's just like, bro, like logically, it just makes no fucking sense. I'm going to show you that I'm this type of individual, and I'm going to mean this to you. This is the thing. These are the things that I'm gonna do for you. These are the responsibilities I'll pick up. Like this is just who I am. Like this is the person that you being introduced to. Mm-hmm. That's the person that I start falling for. And at times, it's like there are guys where they genuinely do like you. Mm-hmm. But instead of like actually like winning you over with them, it's like they start. It's not even like they're putting up a front. It's more like, honestly, at the end of the day, it's still them putting up a front. To be fucking honest, it's just not for the wrong reasons. It's like they'll try to make it seem like there's certain things just to. Oh, I really want her. I got it. It's like, bro, but that you can't maintain that. Like her liking you, like the same way you can't maintain that vibe that you're offering to her, is the same way she's not going to be able to maintain those feelings for you. Because she developed those feelings for a certain individual. And now she's realizing that you are not that person. So it's like, bro, like, I get the whole trying to win somebody over. But if you're genuinely serious about it, understand that shit will never fucking work.
But I feel like, personally, the only way to actually, the only way a person will actually genuinely maintain, like, just in general, like, how they may be acting up front, like, with somebody, is if they genuinely, like, feel for that person. Yeah. Like that's the only way I feel like you can actually maintain it is based off of like, okay, like how do I really feel about this person?
So do you think it's the logical thing to do for certain people to hold back on communicating certain things or acting a certain way with somebody until you actually know like maybe I want this to last or maybe I want this to go somewhere? And I'm taking it from a perspective where it's kind of like guys will think they like you within like the first few days and everything like that. And then they then they just start telling you a lot of shit. It's like that you think should come later down. It's like, I really like you. It's like, it's like, I feel like once you start, but I think like if you're building somebody up and then out of nowhere, it's just like, oh, nah, never mind. That's a very fucked up thing to do. It's not like I'm saying like, oh, it's wrong that you feel that way. But because you are intrigued by this person and you do like this person, in other words, I'm guessing their feelings should mean something to you. You understand what it's like. For the thing is, it's kind of like you thinking that to yourself. You're not aware of what she's thinking, so it becomes something about just you. When you're communicating that to somebody else, they know how they feel, and then they also have access to how you feel. And then if they like you in the slightest, that's confirmation or like that's reassurance that oh shit, this dude actually really likes me. Or like this girl really likes me, but then it's like when that part doesn't happen, or like that energy just switched like that. That's why a lot of women feel like they would get left high and dry. Like I think it's a fucked up thing to leave somebody high and dry, which is the whole reason. It's like if I start liking somebody, I'm not going to tell them certain shit until I'm aware, like I'm certain, like this is how I actually feel.
Yeah, for sure. That's why that's why people say like love bombing at the beginning is a red flag. Yeah. Because like, how do you feel all this and you don't even
know me?
Yeah, you don't even know me. You don't even like you don't know. Like, you know, that's why love bombing is a huge red flag.
I've done that.
Your friend is a red flag.
Yeah, like what?
She said she's done love bombing. I said she's a red flag.
I'm weak. Yeah, but no. Yeah, I just think that love bombing is a red flag. Like, I just think that only time will tell, you know? Like, and I just feel like consistency is key. And I just feel like words are words. And then unless you show it, like it's everything is based off of, in my opinion, your actions. Like, what are you doing?
I think you're right because I don't think you can base it. Actually, finish what you're saying. Go ahead.
No, you can say shit. You say shit all day long. Like, but what are your actions showing? Like, that's how you can, in my opinion, that's how you can really tell somebody like really cares about you. And it's not just about the actions, but it's the consistent actions. Like, not just consistently for like a short period of time, but like over time, give it actual time, like of being consistent to really be able to identify like whether or not like how you feel. And then of course it's scary. Like love is a scary thing, honestly, because it's like even in time, like feelings can always change. Feelings can always waver for whatever reason. Nothing is certain, not to be depressing, but like we're people at the end of the day. And yeah, but I just feel like if it's some real, it's just the thing is, I feel like in this generation, like unconditional love, people don't really believe in that. People are just really quick to give up. And no one really fucks with unconditional love. Like, cause love is something you have to work at, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like you have to work at it. Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like you have to make a choice. It's a choice, in my opinion. Like it's not something that, like, because you're not gonna probably feel in love every day. Because we're human. Like we go through stuff. I'm in a bad mood today. Don't talk to me. Like you feel different emotions every day. So, but you have to choose to love that person. You have to choose, like, okay, how am I gonna handle this situation? Like, you know, like I don't know. But that's just my opinion.
I'll give my take on two different things you said. And I lost the first thing, so I'm going to rock with the second thing. I hope the first one came to me. For me, I don't look at love as an emotion. And I don't always, and at times, I don't necessarily think we pick who we love. I think at times you fall for somebody accidentally. And by accident, it's like, how do you actually fall for somebody? It's like, no, you actually started getting to know them. Y'all were friends, and like certain shit happened, boom. I feel like at times where you're not necessarily always in control of who it is that you love. But the one thing that, which is what you were saying, it's like, but you do make this decision to make that person feel loved. Like that's a decision you get to make every single day. And I think that's where the consistency comes in. For me, I don't look at love as an emotion. I think it's more of a state of being, because the thing is, I could be in I could feel like that presence of love and everything around, but I could still be sad. I could still be mad. I could be happy as shit. At the end of the day, it's like, if love is a feeling, then that means it fades away. And it becomes like, feelings are very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And nobody wants something that's inconsistent in a relationship and shit like that. The thing for me, it's like the whole inconsistency and going into everything like that. Actually, even what I just mentioned, I can actually go on that. I think like the part that's like the biggest part when it comes to like consistency and love, relationships and stuff like that. I think one of the things a lot of people lack, or like they fail to do, is understanding the fact that you loving that person, like just because you love that person doesn't mean like that's all you really need to do. Yes, there are the parts where you have to put actions into it, but even that at times is not enough. And I feel like because we're so like, I think what I've realized is for a lot of relationships and how a lot of people look at it, we all know what the bare minimum is. We all know what the fucked up part is. I feel like a lot of people. Okay. I feel like to a certain extent, at a certain point, you become aware of what the bare minimum is. Or what you're used to expecting, I guess. Yeah, a lot of the times people's bare minimums are more of like their expectations and stuff like that. But what I was going to say was a lot of people, it's like they don't necessarily, what I've realized is they don't understand what it means to love somebody. They think the moment that I love you and I feel that for you, that's where my job ends. Like, I love you. I appreciate all these things about you. So like, what else do I have to do? No, you have to actually put actions into it.
Exactly.
But even then, you have to understand the fact that things will always be left for interpretation. So in other words, you have to make sure that this person is going to be able to look at those things that you're doing for them in the right manner. Or it's like, oh, I want to tell you that I love you, but I know I'm using the wrong love language. I'm constantly touching you, being all up on you. I love you. That's me showing I love you. I'm putting actions. I'm being consistent. But at the end of the day, that's not enough. Because the part where y'all are supposed to have a mutual understanding of, hey, this is how I receive love is one thing. And I don't know, it's weird. I feel like it is a big compromise and in a way at times a sacrifice, because a lot of people are used to only giving love in one manner. Like I know how to give a lot, so I just give to everyone and try and hope that they love me.
Yeah. You know, I think that I'm gonna just be honest, like a lot of people I feel like don't really know how to show love, or they just don't know like what exactly they don't know how to show it. like, because a lot of people have a lot of things that maybe have happened in their life that was trauma that, you know, and now they don't really know how to really show that they love someone. Like, because a lot of the time, like, for example, me, I was blessed and like my parents are still together and they've been a great example. They've been together for like 25 plus years. So I have an example of two people loving each other unconditionally, working together, trying to make the commitment that they made towards each other work every day. But a lot of people don't really have that example. But I'm not saying, like, of course, like, because I do believe too, like, if something is, I don't know, if a person is disloyal or dishonest, or if there's some reason that you guys really can't be together, I'm not saying don't break up, but I'm saying, like, I'm saying a lot but my point is, when you're actually showing somebody unconditional love, you shouldn't even be in that position to where you have to, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you shouldn't even be put in that position to where it's like, okay, now I have to make a choice about like whether I need to leave you or not. Because they should be showing you unconditional love, because that's what that is.
I don't think you would even understand what conditional love is. And to be completely honest, I don't think you... I don't think... It's like, maybe we attempt it, but I don't think you'll ever know what unconditional love is.
Yeah.
Okay, let me speak about this. There is the unconditional love where it has to do with family. I think that right there is a lot easier to learn because, like you said, when it comes to love, you have to learn that a lot of effort has to be put into it. So it's like, those are the things where it takes time. With your family, you've already had that time. So the moment you love them, in a way, you have been exposed to every bad part of them, every bad habit they have. It becomes unconditional love because you don't allow your love for them to be hindered by their flaws or by their mistakes and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But when it comes to a relationship, I think I don't think a lot of people. I can say I love somebody unconditionally, but realistically, I think it's one of those things where it's like, will you ever understand like what conditional love in a dating type of relationship is until you actually find your person? Because as much as you can probably say like, oh, I loved everything about this person, and I see a lot of relationships, oh, I still love them. There are those things where it's kind of like, unless you really gave it the time to see if your unconditional love could last, I don't think you will ever have access to that. Because for me, it's like, the whole reason why that love becomes unconditional is because you have so much time to constantly see the mistakes that they have. You actually get to see that person for who they actually are. And you're like, I know these are the great parts about you and I love them. And I know these are your flaws. I know these are certain things you might have to work on. But at the end of the day, I accept you for that overall. Right. But I don't think a lot of people actually get to that point. And I think love has become very conditional. Like, I think social media has made it that way because people start having like set expectations, not even about money or women feeling entitled, but even like people's take on like what a relationship should look like. The idea that people don't realize that it's more about a dynamic and less about what looks good on fucking social media. Oh, that's one thing we can. I didn't write this down, but we can segue into that. How do you think social media affect people's outlook on relationships? Well, that was well said. Thank you. Nice.
I literally just had a conversation like this, I think last night. Well, not exactly this conversation, but it was based on social media we were talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same realm. But personally, I feel like now it's like social media is a part of the way of life now. The way of life now. I feel like social media is like a monster, to be honest. Like, I do. I think that it's destroyed like a lot of people's just mindsets. Like, it's unhealthy. It's toxic. It has its toxic elements. Like, people look at things and then they over romanticize, like, oh my God, like, and people don't realize you're on the outside looking in, bro. Like, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're fighting about. You don't know how many times he cheated on her, how many times she cheated on him. You don't know anything. You just know what you see. And then now you feel like that's how stuff is supposed to be. Like, and it's like, no, actually, there's some really messed up stuff going on behind the scenes. And you would have no idea. Like, you don't have any idea. But like, I just think that, and it controls, it has like a chokehold on a lot of people. I feel like social media does, and it's not a healthy thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a healthy thing.
I think we have the same mindset on it in terms of like the part where it's kind of like we think it's very toxic. I think the thing that becomes very detrimental to a lot of people's mental health and like mindsets when it comes to social media is this idea that people, no matter how smart we are, we become so addicted to social media to the point where it makes us lie to ourselves. All of us understand how social media works for the most part in terms of like the basic, not like being an influencer and shit like that, but this is what social media is and this is what it's supposed to do. But I think a lot of people where it's like they think they take social media and they think it's something that's supposed to just teach them shit. In my opinion, social media, the whole point of it is to give you access to shit. It gives you access to a lot of different mindsets, a lot of different views and everything like that. So for me, it's like, I will never go on social media and see one thing or like see a relationship and with them like, oh, this is the standard. I think that's the issue. Yeah. Right? A lot of people look at social media and whatever you see on there, you think this is what it looks like you mentioned earlier. And for me, it's like, especially when it comes to relationships, and sadly, I think guys are affected a little more when it comes to that because guys don't necessarily fantasize. Like, we don't see a couple doing certain things and we're like, I wish this was me. Like, in terms of like actual materialistic things, not even materialistic things, but like doing like, oh, going on a certain date. Like, woman will see, oh shit, a guy, if I don't want to go there, if I didn't think about it, I could care less that I seen another couple go there. It's like the one thing I realized, like a lot of guys have struggled with, even on this manner. It's like, you know, a lot of my friends have gone through it. I have gone through it. Woman will look at that, right? And then they decide this is what love looks like. And then when they get in a relationship, it's the same thing I said about a dynamic earlier. It's like they forget that because social media becomes their standard for everything. You just think this is like, okay, what does a relationship look like? Okay, I see this couple online doing this. I see this couple online doing this. This is exactly what I want. And the thing is, people also don't realize, bro, you are comparing your everyday life to somebody's highlight.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's like certain, like, the thing is, I am like, the one thing people do all the time, which you even like check clearly, like an example of it, people constantly would tell me, like, even people on social media, you're always happy. I don't have an issue with the fact that people look at me as an individual that's always happy. But the part where you start thinking my whole entire life is just great and that's the reason why I'm happy 24/7, or like, oh, I want to be like this person, you're happy all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, that's not how life works. Like, especially for we'll even speak about it from like an influencer perspective, because influencers are the people that puts things out for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We put out what we think y'all want to see majority of the times. Whether or not, like, I'm not saying, oh, I don't believe in the things that I put out. I definitely believe in it. But at the end of the day, I send things out in a way where I feel like it is going to be most heard by my audience. So what that means is the whole purpose of us putting out content for you, it's not to change your mind on shit. We're saying it in a way for you to most understand it. And that's why we're always cautious about like our platform, the type of people that are in it, because we're trying to just expose you to something. Like, we're not, like, I don't want people to take my video and see something I say and just take it and rock with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like it causes a lot of people's mindset to be fixated because you see trends. Oh my God, I don't want to speak about that shit, bro. I feel like a lot of people are just attracted to trends.
Yeah.
That shit's so bad, bro. Not even that. I mean, like, actually, like, I feel like social media literally tells people who to be attracted to. Like,
it does.
Like, bro, at one point, the whole, like, let's be honest, we were well aware of the fact that a lot of black women, especially in the younger days, growing up and stuff like that, let's just say, like, when we're in our teenage years, like, a lot younger, it's like, let's just say, you know, for you, like, 17 and me, like, 13 or something like that, right? But it's like, I realized, like, at that time, people didn't necessarily appreciate black women. A lot of the times that I see my friends that were getting called out for how they look, their hair, and all that extra shit. And then we get to a point where people are saying, hey, black queens. Now, all of a sudden, a lot of people want a dark-skinned woman. And at a certain point, I promise you, this even happened to me, which is why I'll be completely honest with it. At a certain point, I will be completely honest. I was that guy that was a lot more intrigued by a woman if she was light-skinned, curly hair, and a nice smile. I'll be completely honest. But for me, the reason why that was, it's like at the time I didn't necessarily understand it. It's because something constantly got tossed in my face, and I was just like, this is it.
Yeah.
But then I realized it's like I never actually cared for that shit. The people I talked to would never be that. But it was more of like if somebody were to ask me what's my type, I'll be like, oh, this is my type. But I'm like, I don't even ever date it. But there are people where it's like they look at their type from social media and like this is the only thing they are willing to look for. You gotta walk a wife beater, you gotta have dreads, you gotta be 6 feet plus, like and then the women get affected by that a lot, but I think women are influenced by it a lot. And then the part that affects men is just the fact that we become ain't shit. Because I don't know why, bro, this pisses me off. I don't know why men constantly feel the need to tell somebody they're not their type. That shit makes my nerves, bro.
Like a lot of guys do have preferences, but it's like in reality, I just feel like if a girl is attractive and she's throwing it your way, you're not gonna catch it, or like you're gonna catch it. If she's throwing ass at you, you're gonna fuck. Like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Like if she's attractive, you disagree? You disagree?
I don't know. I mean, that's the whole reason why I don't have a type. If I'm attracted to you, I'm attracted to you, and that's really it. I'm not just.
That's what I'm saying. If she's an attractive woman, doesn't matter the color, because everybody always wants to say, "Oh, you're an exception." I'm usually not into black girls, but like you're the exception.
Why do men think that is a compliment? That's not a compliment, bro.
I don't even. But my point is like, if she's an attractive woman, period, it doesn't matter what color she is. You don't have to announce it that you're not usually into her type, like, or the type of way she, like, whatever. You don't have to announce that. If she's attractive to you and she wants to fuck you, you're not gonna say no.
But
you're not gonna say no.
That's so that actually is very toxic. There are certain men, and sadly, I have one of my boys that is like this, right? There are certain guys, they don't care what you look like the moment you do not fit their type, whatever the fuck it is. They don't look at you. They don't find you attractive. Like I know certain, like I sadly know one of my boys, right? Let me not say one of my boys, like it's just one person that I know that's like that. But I know certain people where they only like white girls, and he is a man of color, very much a colored man, like Caribbean's type of color type shit, islands, and he only likes white girls. And it's one of those things where it's like, if I show him like back in the day when we were younger, where it was like, now he controls a lot more mature, but back in the day it was like just very harsh and toxic type shit, like the typical ain't shit answers that you could give. Like I'll show him a woman that's of a darker skin tone, right? He wouldn't care. Like it didn't matter if like shorty was bad as shit. Like it just didn't matter to him. You're not, like, at a certain point it was strictly white, and then it became light skinned woman. For him, when it was white woman, it's like, if you're not white, or if you're not somebody of a lighter complexion, I don't want you. I don't give a fuck what you look like. And for him, it's like, it even went into the people he fucked. Like that's what I'm telling you made it so bad. Like there are a lot of men that are this exact way. There are men that love dark skins. It's like, if you're not dark skinned, I don't want it. And that's also the thing I find is an issue. The fact that we glorify certain people for having the exact same fucking mindset, but since they have the right type, we give it a pass. Like how often, like, do you really ever see anybody checking someone that says, I only like dark skins? No. And why is that?
Wait, say that again?
Do you think that's problematic? The fact that certain people get passes for having the typical, like the mindset we were just talking about, the typical ain't shit mindset where it's like, if they're not your type, you don't want them. How come certain people get passes just because they have a type that is more acceptable by social media or by the society, I guess?
I mean, yeah, like, to be honest, I just think you're closing yourself off to so many different possibilities. Like, why? Like, I mean, realistically, I get preferences and I get types, and I guess I get types, but I get, you having a preference, like, but why? I think it all boils down to, why is that your preference? Like, to be completely honest, like, what do you have against any other race? Like, why is it such a big deal? Like, why does it matter? I think that's what it boils down to for me. Like, if you like that person, if you think they're attractive, and it's somebody that's outside of your race, there's so many different possibilities. Like, I just think, you haven't seen the whole entire world. You don't know what every Black woman looks like in the world. You don't know what every white woman looks like in the world. Like, for you to be like, I only date this type of women. Like, but why? I mean, if it's not for like maybe cultural reasons or like religious purposes or like things like that, where it's like you want your morals to align and just your beliefs and whatnot. If that's not the reason, then I just feel like, what's the big deal? Is it because this is trending and this type of look is like trending and it's like, okay, this, and everybody thinks like, oh, if you have this type of girl that looks like this, then you're winning. Is it an ego thing? Like, is that what it is? Like, you just feel like, oh, I'm going along with whatever everybody else thinks because that's just what, like, are you brainwashed like, to that degree? Like, I just don't understand it. Cause it's like me, I personally don't understand. Cause if I like you, I like you. Like, I mean, yeah, if I like somebody might surprise me. I'm not closed off to anybody to where I think like, oh, I'm not going to date this type of like this race of guys. Like, do I think that, I mean, yeah, like there might be certain features that I might not find as attractive on certain maybe races, but not everybody in that race has those same features. Like, so, and I mean, that's what I get. I understand preferences from like a point of view where it's like, oh, I prefer these type of features, like, or I prefer like, yeah, just I prefer these type of features. Cool. But like, I guess when it comes to like race and I just don't understand that part of it, I guess. Like, I'm not gonna date this person because they're Black, like, or they're too dark. Yeah. Or they're too light or whatever reason. I don't understand that point or that part of it. But I don't know. I hope that answers like the question, but I don't know.
It does answer my question. It answers my question. Actually,
you said it doesn't?
I said it does. I said it does. Yo, you was ready to give me your mic back. That's what it makes sense. So for me to summarize what it is that you're saying there's not necessarily an issue for someone to have a certain preference if the preference is actually a preference. In other words, something you prefer more than everything else. It's about the fact that they have a fixed mindset and become very closed off to the rest of the world. And I think the part that becomes very problematic is you strip a lot of people of their beauty when you do that.
Yes. I love when you sum up my words.
I've gotten so good at doing that because at times you be, bro.
No, I be so scatterbrained sometimes.
No. That's what I was about to say.
Oh, like, so what you're saying is, let me summarize Koryona's little sentence that she just tried to piece together, and I'm gonna say it and put some sparkle on it. And he be putting sparkle on my words sometimes.
I feel like that's the part where the older brother kicks in because I feel like a lot of time, like this happens a lot. It's like when we'll speak and like we'll talk for a really long period of time, like venting about some shit. You will say a lot. Like, you will express your whole entire thought process to me. And then have no idea what... But then you have no idea what that meant. And then I'll be like... And then I'll put it into words and you're like, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And I'm like, okay.
Exactly. It just works out, you know? Because my thoughts be moving at 100 miles an hour.
I'll be keeping up. And
I'll be like, but then again, there's this part and this part. And then you have to just work out.
Oh shit, we're actually gonna make an hour episode. So you're actually an hour premiere. I love it. Oh wait, actually there was a question. We're gonna end this more of like a calm type thing vibe. Because I feel like we talk about like a lot of serious shit. But what was it? Oh, you actually made a video about this recently. How does it make you feel when you get a text from somebody that says we need to talk? Because I can't deal with that shit.
You was just looking at my last TikTok.
No, that was literally the first one. That's what I'm saying. Like, because I was like, okay, don't lie. I made a lot of different questions that we didn't even talk about. But yeah, how does that actually make you feel? Because that shit scares the fuck out of me.
I got a text message once upon a time from this guy, and he hit me with the "we need to talk," and I was in this relationship, right? And everything was great. Everything was amazing. And then out of the blue, it was like, we need to talk. And like my heart sunk to my stomach because I was like, oh shit. But the thing is, you know, like, and your intuition does not lie. Cause like really the day before, it was weird. The day before I was like, okay, something feels weird. I feel like he's gonna like break up with me tomorrow. And I don't know. Something in my spirit was telling me that. And he literally texted me telling me we need to talk, and I was like, oh no.
He broke up with you?
Yeah, he broke up with me.
Shit. You seen a breakup coming?
I did. I was psychic that day. And, I saw it coming. He hit me with the we need to talk. So every time I see a we need to talk, I want to know right now. What do we need to talk about?
Bro, I think for me, like, the reason why that shit scares me so much is like, I'm not an overthinker in the manner of like, I'll sit there and like constantly overthink every little thing and try to figure out every little situation and shit. But when it comes to that, the moment somebody texts me, we need to talk, my mind is going at, like, even things that wouldn't logically make sense. Like, me and this person are in love, she never feels like I disrespected them. Like that thought will randomly cross my mind. Like at a certain point, it's like, oh, what do we need to talk about? Did I do something wrong? Did I fuck up? And I think that's also the thing. Whenever we hear that text, the only reason why anybody feels any types of way to get scared is because like you just think it's for a bad talk. And also, I feel like, but I think that's justified. When does somebody ever tell you we need to talk and it's like good, like happy memories, or like they're bringing up good news and shit? I feel like that doesn't happen often. Somebody will be like, I got to tell you something. But then we need to talk means like, oh, we have to address something, like something is actually wrong. But how did you feel? Like, did you try to avoid that conversation knowing you was about to get broken up with?
No, I didn't try to avoid it. I just, took it like a G.
Did you cry?
G that I am, and I took it. And he actually broke up with me through text. Like some sour shit, but yeah, he broke up with me through text, and then my little heart was crying. I missed. It was so bad. I was crying. I called out of work that day, and my manager was on the phone, and she was like, "Oh my God, who died?" I was like, I didn't even say anybody died. I was just screaming, crying on the phone because I couldn't get my words out, and she was like, she was just like, well, I hope. She literally just made up a whole scenario in her head, like, well, I hope your grandma's okay. And I'm like, I didn't say anything about. Yeah, I was
Why
like,
did you just assume you?
I don't know if I was just like, I don't know if like I was trying to talk and she just misinterpreted what I said or something. But I was crying so hard to where it was just like, she was like, whatever, just take whatever time you need. Like, she just heard me grieving. Like, it sounded like somebody died, but I was really upset that day. Yeah, that was a hard breakup that one time.
That's tough. Breaking up with somebody through text is fucked up.
It was very messed up. And he didn't even give me a reason. I don't know what happened. So.
That's actually like 10 times worse. Like, you got broken up with over text and there was literally like nothing else after that. That's concerning. I've been fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. I've broken up with somebody in a bad manner. I broke up with somebody on their birthday.
I've done that before.
Really?
Maybe that was my karma. Yeah, I broke up with somebody on their birthday before, but he was mean to me. No, he was mean as fuck to me. I was like, I can't take this. I can't take another year. Okay.
Yeah, like when that day came, I just said, "Fuck it." I'm like, I'm not going through this shit again. Like but we were on a break.
I was like, you're getting older, bro. Like, I can't take another year of you being an asshole to me. It's over. I'm done.
Nah, I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of like just fell out of love with that person, and for me, it was one of those things. Where it's like she mistreated the fuck out of me. Honestly, she's the reason why. Yeah. I was just like this nice guy where like that was really like the main thing was just always that. Like, there wasn't really much else to me when it comes to like the fucked up part, the nice parts. Like, nah, I was just like always a gentleman, always nice. And she would just do constant fucked up shit. And I'm not gonna hold you. After we ended, like, I just started playing people. Like, I got in the horror activities was just on it. But now it's like we were on a break, and then she pulled up to my house. I'm like, why are you pulling up to my house while we're on a break? I get that it was your birthday, but we went on a break because, like, what was it? She would just do mad fucked up shit, and then I thought I still had feelings for someone that I dated before her and stuff like that, and I felt fucked up. I didn't want to be next to that person knowing like there's a chance that I might actually have feelings for someone else. I wanted to take that break to actually figure out how I feel. But then the moment I seen her pull up to my house, I'm like, what the fuck is you here? Like, my brother wakes me out of bed, and I see this shorty on my porch, and I'm like, are you here? And then we're trying to have I tried to have a regular conversation, and then she kept on trying to kiss me. And I broke up with her because of that.
Is this the story that you told me about like a long time ago?
Yeah.
I feel like it is. Like, yeah. I think Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
But
I remember her.
bro, she just got me mad tight. I'm like, we're on a break, and it's like you pushing yourself on me. And then at a certain point, I realized, like, looking at her, I just felt nothing. Like,
Dang. Cold-hearted.
I hope a nigga don't ever feel like that about me.
Cold-hearted.
No. She did worse. She pulled up to our school. She was like the new girl in like 7th grade or something like that. This was way later, but like when we first met, 7th grade or some shit like that. She likes me. I think this girl is attractive as shit, but even back then, I wasn't the person where it's like, you look good. I don't like constantly like walking up to women and shit. I'm like, y'all deal with that constantly. The whole cat calling. I'm like, y'all have enough of that shit. I say nothing to the shorty. She makes her friend tell me she likes me. She starts entertaining me. Dates my boy. Breaks up with my boy. Dates me. In the middle of lunch, tells me we need to talk. I'm like, all right, while we're together, we go to the gym and stuff like that, and we talk. And then she's like, I need to tell you something. I'm like, what? She's like, I still like a Johnny. That was his name. Yeah, that was a Johnny. I'm saying that name because multiple people to my school had that same name, so I'm not putting nobody out there. But yeah, she was like, I still like a Johnny. Broke up with me right there in the boys' locker room. Mm-hmm. And then I told her I don't hate you. She's like, I know you'd be mad. I'm like, it is what it is. I went back. I took a few seconds, to get myself together. When I went back into that lunchroom, she was with him.
Wow.
Like, I didn't even take 10, 15 minutes balling my eyes. Probably like 5 minutes type shit, just so I wouldn't get seen walking back in with her. She was next to this nigga. Yeah. Heartbroken, bro. She was, at one point, she dated, like, I'm not gonna hold you. This is when I realized, like, yo, this is really, I gotta call it quits. At one point, there was like 4 or 5 guys walking home together. She had dated all 4 or 5 guys. What? Either dated or spoke to.
Yes.
Listen, I didn't make good choices back then. Okay?
Better choice in women, honey. Better choice.
That was from like 7th to like 9th grade at the most type shit.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I was not doing that. But yeah, nah. She honestly, I wish you the best. I hope you're actually doing good. Hope you're thriving and shit. But honestly, at a certain point, I just hated you. Like, it got to a point where I just did not think, because she had done so much fucked up shit. At a certain point, at a certain point, it's like you used to find somebody so attractive, but it's like, then because of so much shit that's added on, the amount of things you've like started admitting to yourself, it's like, not even in a fucked up way, but that person is almost like disgusting to you. It's like, you don't find a single thing that you can find attractive about him. It's like, okay, I didn't name drop her, right? Fuck, do my friends watch this? Don't matter. One of my boys know about this. She tried fucking me senior year. Like, she literally told me senior year, I still like you. Like while everybody was go back home and shit like that, and I'm in the middle school with everybody walking past me and shit. I'm like, I'll text you. That's what I told her. I told her I'll text you. I never texted her, never spoke to her about it or anything like that. And then she tried, bro. And I'm like, why do you think like I would still like you after all this shit that you did? And thinking you would even get dick out of me is crazy. She asked me for a dick next to my boy at a volleyball game. Grabbed the ruler out of my boy's sitting next to me. She's right here. Grabs the ruler and says, "So where are you now?" And it's like, my boy looks at me. He's like, and I try to ignore it, but yeah, she wasn't shit. But in general, I feel like we actually got a really good episode, and I just want to say that I very much love Korry, and I appreciate the fact that she chose to do this for me and gave me time out of her precious day. It's like, it's not like she'd be home all the time. She's constantly out and about. So the fact that she took some time to stay inside and actually do this for me, I really appreciated it.
Aw, thank you for asking me. I feel special.
Yeah, of course.
It was fun. It was a good talk. We always have good talks. You always finish my statements for me, and you always tie everything together, what I'm really trying to say. It always works out. So I appreciate it.
Pretty dope bond. Guys, you guys will get content of us, whether it's on TikTok, podcasts, in the summer.
He's supposed to be coming to visit me this summer.
I'm actually excited as shit. But actually, wait, is there any last things you want to say to this platform that you were just speaking to for about an hour?
Well, I want to just tell everybody to have a great day. Also, again, my socials are Kory, Koryona, my name. So Koryona. That's how you spell my name. on TikTok, but on Instagram it's _KORYONA if you guys want to check out my content. I definitely will be posting some new music too if you guys want to check that out as well. But other than that, that's all I have. That's all I have.
Is your song copyrighted, Dove?
Yeah.
If you give me access to it, I'll add it to this.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, instead of our typical intro, I can make that happen. But yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you guys for actually coming in. Like I said, I'm actually glad I got to bring you guys an episode with her because I feel like we've done a lot of these on like IG lives too and shit like that. So the fact that we got to put it on a podcast felt really nice doing this with someone like you're really cool with, so it didn't really feel like much work at all, or like I was trying to get to know someone. It's like I already having a great fucking idea of who she is. But I just want to say to everyone, we should go live. I'm down to go live on TikTok. I'm banned on IG until next month. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate you guys for coming in and tuning in. Remember, your happiness should be dependent on the fact that you deserve it, not what happens around you. That's I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want y'all to have a great day. I'm gonna FaceTime you so I can show you the setup. Bye.